Welcome, gentlemen. Today's briefing revolves around the cruiser tank Mark III A13. This tank will be your introduction to the British tech tree, of which you're going to become intimately familiar with in these upcoming training films. Now, we're going to start with the basics, in case the specifications of your vehicle have slipped the mind, perhaps you are joining us for the first time. The cruiser tank Mark III-4 represents the vanguard of our foray into British cruiser tanks. Whilst it was not the first cruiser tank historically, it will mark our start point. To begin with, let us look at the on-paper capabilities of your vehicle. When the A13 is first introduced to you, its abilities will be subpar. This is due to the fact that it arrives as stock. When stock is being referred to, it indicates that a vehicle has not yet been properly equipped with its upgraded modifications. These modifications will need to be earned from experience points gained in the field of battle. As can be seen in the above presentation, the difference in a vehicle's capability is stark. Important features such as turret traverse and shell type vary drastically when all modifications are unlocked. For the purposes of this film, it should be assumed all modifications are equipped unless specified otherwise. A concern many will raise is in regard to the armour profile. The A13's armour can be summarised in one word: poor. With 14mm of protection at its most armoured, a particularly stiff breeze can and will cause an unfortunate incident inside your vehicle. This status quo will remain a constant feature of the cruiser tank moving forward. The mobility afforded to you with the Cruiser Mark III is where you will experience the true gift that cruiser tanks have to offer. With its Liberty engine producing 340 horsepower, the A13 has a fairly average top speed of 48 km an hour or 30 miles per hour. However, the tank's ability to maintain its speed during turns in conjunction with a better than average acceleration means that the A13 has practical mobility that will be to your great benefit in battle. A detriment to the tank's mobility is its less than stellar 6 km an hour or 3.7 miles per hour reverse speed. Whilst not the worst speed of the British cruiser tanks, it certainly affects the A13's ability to withdraw from a situation if it were to go pear-shaped. So keep this fact in mind when approaching situations. To state that the 2-pounder main gun of the early British tech tree is just good is an understatement worthy of a lashing. The 2-pounder will be your greatest ally and shall treat you well as long as you treat it with kindness in return. Now remember, Britain primarily focused on the shell type known as solid shot. Getting into the specifics of solid shot, it's outside the scope of this introduction. However, suffice it to say, solid shot demands an accurate hand and patience. You will be knocking out individual components at a time to cripple your opponent. Unlike many other nations present in War Thunder, Britain is unique in its expansive selection of shells needed to unlock before researching the preferred ammunition type. That being the rank 4 modification Shot Mark 9B, which offers the best ballistic characteristics of this type. In this clip, we can see that the speed of the A13 has allowed our plucky tank commander to seize the high ground and exact swift and destructive justice upon his foes. This demonstrates the absolute priority of any A13 crew. You must use your mobility advantage and remain out of sight. Whilst this scenario cannot occur on every map, the principles are the same. A. Do not be seen. B. Engage from the flank. C. Use the reload advantage the 2-pounder cannon offers. These 3 points are the bread and butter of any successful engagement whilst crewing a cruiser tank. Aha! We can see here another glorious high ground engagement has been achieved, and whilst very successful indeed, a blunder is about to unfold. Quite devastating indeed. The pompous commander has tried and failed to replicate earlier successes, and for this he shall suffer a most terrible accident. This proves another rather important observation. If a strategy works once, it does not necessarily mean it will work again. Be bold and creative in your engagements and have a good laugh, even when the battle goes askew. For another battlefield example, we now view our adventurous tank as they maneuver around the capture point. Another pivotal skill any tank commander must possess is a keen eyesight and reaction time, as demonstrated here. The dashing commander notices a pesky Jerry on top of the hill, ready to fire. A quick hand, combined with the mobility of his tank, narrowly avoids a grim fate. This uptick in fortune allows him to gain the advantage and secure a great victory. Why, yes, a glorious victory indeed. To cap off the successes, we come to another failure. The commander this time is about to make multiple errors, which are worth viewing. First, he becomes distracted by a buzzing flyboy. Next, he crests the hill into a position of no cover and in which he is exposed to the enemy. And finally, he is once more distracted by markers and the enemy aircraft, allowing a concealed panzer to put a burst of 20mm fire downrange and pierce his paper-thin armour. As stated above, these mistakes lead to the end of this valiant tank. Do not let this be your fate as well. Pay attention and all will end well. To conclude this guide, I shall now let some clips run in the background while we discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the cruiser tank Mark III. Overall, the A13 makes for a fantastic starter vehicle, with its powerful gun, brilliant mobility, packaged in a well-rounded chassis. The major disadvantages being its hopeless armour and its main shell being of the solid shot variety, meaning you will have to fire multiple rounds for any effect. When these features are combined, the result is a fast and agile tank that should almost never engage the enemy from the front and finds its spot on the side and rear of opponents. If you are being fired at whilst crewing the A13, you are already doing something wrong. Discharge your smoke and scarper. I do so hope this film has been of use to you, and you continue to watch these into the future. The next guide shall be on the light tank Mark VII Tech Truck. If you wish to know more about the history of the A13, then a historical guide shall be coming soon. Stay tuned and Godspeed, gentlemen.